Why am I live without my permission? Hey! Okay, well, that's not nice. I guess, whatever. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsanin ila yawm ad-dini wa sallama tasliman kathiran amma ba'd. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly the way He deserves to be praised. We ask Allah to exalt, dimension, grant peace, and send His blessings and salutations upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Brothers and sisters in Islam, we are on time. We even went live early. I'm not used to it that I wasn't ready. See how that works? But anyways, I'm ready now. And seems like some of you have been here way before us. So yeah, welcome. We will resume where we left off. We were discussing the matters of Qadr according to the Aqeedah of Ahl-us-Sunnah wal-Jamaa'ah Ridwanillahi alayhim ajma'in. And we were at the statement of Shaykh-ul-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. فما من مخلوق في الأرض ولا في السماء إلا الله خالقه سبحانه لا خالق غيره ولا رب سواه. So there is no creature on earth or in the heaven except that Allah is its creator. Glory be to Him. There's no creator besides Him, and there's no Lord aside from Him. وَهَذَا صَحِيحٌ بِلَا شَكٍّ. The Shaykh said this is inevitably correct, with no doubt. وَلِهَذَا دَلِيلٌ أَثَرِي وَدَلِيلٌ نَظَرِي. And for that statement, we have a dalil that is athari in nature and one that is nadari. Now, this is an opportunity for us to educate ourselves linguistically, especially those of you who like the اللغة العربية and want to expand their vocabulary and know better about what's going on. So, athari is a statement or a word that you hear often among the Salafis. The Salafis tend to comfortably and freely utilize the term athari. And the term athari has to do with athar, and athar is a trace. Athar is a trace. And that is the linguistic meaning. The legislative technical meaning, meaning that which could be traced back to the Sahaba and to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So anything which is traceable to the early generations is connected to the athar, something that is narrated onto us via authentic chains of narration. And therefore you hear the term Salafi as in they belong to the Salaf, and Salaf is anything that preceded you. Salaf is what preceded you, and it appears in the Quran, إِلَّا مَا قَدْ سَلَف, except that which has already been except that which has already preceded. So Salafi is that which has come before, and Athari is that which is traced back to the earlier generations. Why is that term important? Because when you describe yourself as a person who follows the Athar, that means you are giving precedence to the naql over the aql, which is another discussion we've had multiple times in this class. Meaning you are a person that has taken the path in your religion of those individuals who give precedence to the textual evidence over intellect. And brothers and sisters in Islam, there is no other way to be. There is no other way to be. You could choose other methodologies and other ideologies, and you will surely be among those whom the Prophet ﷺ spoke about when he said that this ummah will divide into 73 sects, all of which will be worthy of the fire, all of which will enter the fire except one. And when asked which one is that exempted denomination or group or firqa or sect, he said, "Man kana ala mithli ma ana alayhi al-yawm wa ashabi," aw kama qala sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, whoever is upon what I am today and my companions. So you would go through the narrations pertaining to the Sahaba, and see whether they gave precedence to the logic and reasoning and intellect, or did they give precedence to the textual evidence. Sufficient for you the statement of Ali, where he said, radiallahu anhu, had this religion been based on reasoning and pure intellect, then wiping the bottom of the khuf, the leather socks, would be more worthy than the top. But that's not what we do, because the Prophet ﷺ wiped the top of the sock, the leather sock, or the socks in general. So you wipe the top of the sock. You don't use your logic, say, but the part that gets dirty is the bottom, therefore this is the part that is more blah blah blah. Look, man, there's nobody's telling you don't use reasoning, but if your reasoning is going to conflict with the textual evidence, then you need to set your reasoning aside. That's all we're saying, because that reasoning is subjective. It's not reasonable to you, it's reasonable to us, and so on and so forth. So now, the term Salafi and the term Athari is in reference to those people that follow the early generations of Islam, i.e. also when there's a conflict between textual evidence and intellect, they will prefer and give precedence and submit to the textual evidence, because they know the textual evidence is revealed by Allah, and what is revealed by Allah is infallible, and what is revealed by Allah is more suitable to the people, even if the people fail in comprehending that. Are we all on the same page? Is this clear speech that you can comprehend and decipher without needing any special tools? I believe so. I believe so. Now comes the bigger question. Okay. So do we go around and call ourselves Abu Mussab al-Athari, al-Salafi, al-Hanbali, al-Madri Ish? The host muted you? What do you mean you muted me? Oh. Do we go around and say that? No. No, we don't. You could. But if you look at the opinions of the scholars, those are in favor and those against, you will see that those who are against are closer to the truth. Why? First of all, there's a praise in that. There's a type of self-praise that I am this and I am that. Second of all, it has allowed this term to become abused by unqualified, unbefitting individuals who have hijacked those words and misrepresented them. So now people associate their behavior with Salafiyah and with Athariyah, and that is absolutely a problem. So we believe in those as adjectives, as long as you're using as an adjective. Yes, if somebody asks me what strand of Islam you follow per se, I say I'm a Salafi to the bone, baby. I'm a Salafi to the bone. I will take nothing else. I don't care about anything else. I don't entertain anything else, because everything else is batil. Everything else is false. But do I have to make a declaration all the time that I am a Salafi? No, I don't. So as an adjective, I'm completely fine with it. As a proper noun, I have a problem with it. The same problem that Shaykh ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah had a problem with. And so many other scholars have a problem with the proper noun usage of the term Salafi and Athari, not as a descriptive quality of what you, or a summary or a capsulation, an encapsulated version of what you believe in. All right? So there you have it. That is ad-duwayna. وَلِهَذَا دَلِيلٌ أَثَرِي. So now, for this statement of Shaykh al-Islam, we have a dalil, an evidence. Dalil is an evidence that is athari, meaning in nature, meaning it is of athari nature. It is athari in nature, meaning it goes back to something that is traceable. وَدَلِيلٌ نَظَرِي. Nazari from what? أَفَلَا يَنظُرُونَ. Nazar is vision. So there's one that is basically related to the senses and to understanding and reasoning. All right? We need to... طيب. أما الدليل الأثري. As for the athari evidence, فقد قال الله تعالى الله خالق كل شيء. Allah says in the Quran, Allah is the creator. No, it doesn't matter. It's not bright enough. I can't see it. Allah is the creator of everything. I'm good. Jazakallah khair. Allah is the creator of everything. So that is a what? A textual evidence. That is a textual evidence. وقال تعالى هذا دليل أثري يا أخوان وأخوات. قال تعالى أم خلقوا من غير شيء أم هم الخالقون أم خلقوا السماوات والأرض بل لا يوقنون. طيب, were they created by nothing, or were they themselves the creators, or did they create the heavens and the earth? Nay, but they have no firm belief. فلا يمكن أن يوجد شيء في السماء والأرض إلا الله خالقه وحده. So it is impossible that you will be able to find anything, absolutely anything on earth or in the heavens except that Allah is the only creator for that thing. You cannot find anything except that Allah Azza wa Jal created it. Nothing. Not even the tiniest dust particle. Except that Allah Azza wa Jal is the creator. ولقد تحدى الله العابدين للأصنام تحديا أمرنا أن نستمع له. Further, Allah Azza wa Jal has presented a challenge. He challenged the idol worshippers with a challenge that He commanded us to listen to. A challenge He commanded us to pay attention and listen to. فقال, so Allah said, يا أيها الناس ضرب مثل فاستمعوا له إن الذين تدعون من دون الله لن يخلقوا ذبابا ولو اجتمعوا له. الله أكبر. All mankind, a similitude has been coined. So listen to it carefully. Verily, those on whom you call besides Allah cannot create even a fly, even though they combine to get together for the purpose. Even if they all came together and unified their forces, if they unified their forces and they gathered their strengths and they went on a mission to create from scratch a fly. Mind you, I'm saying this because of cloning. When people use existing creation of Allah and they manipulate it to claim that they're also creating, but they're not creating from scratch. They're utilizing Allah's creation, and that is not considered creating in the ultimate sense. It is not creating in the ultimate sense. So if I use things that Allah already made and then I restructure them in a different way, even though in some ways I have created that modern version of that creation of Allah, in reality I've only redesigned Allah's creation. I've utilized an existing creation of Allah, and that does not constitute a creating in the ultimate sense, i.e. the creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So be careful of these fools who get you a sheep and then they make a clone sheep and they say, look man, you're talking about, we can't make a fly. Hey, we made a whole sheep. Say, yeah, Habibi, go cook that sheep, eat it, get stuffed with it, and die from overeating also. Because you didn't do jack, jack. You only got what Allah created and you're playing funny games with us. أمشي يا شيخ أحسن ما يديك واحد من هناك خليك تتكلم سرلنكي مع بعضك. Stop playing games with the people claiming to be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody can create a fly. You bring all these idols, especially those idols, those who worship Jesus and Mary and Saint Christopher and Saint chicken wings and Saint chicken nuggets, or Saint potato wedges. Bring all these fools and tell them, hey, create a fly from scratch. He's not going to do nothing. So why are you asking him for things? Why are you asking him for guidance? Why are you asking him for protection? Why are you asking him for life and death? I can't get over this stuff, man. I can't get over what I see on Facebook. When will I get over what I see on Facebook? I just finished watching a video on Facebook. Especially in Africa, they love to do this stuff in Africa. The priest gave life to a dead woman. And even if you were a toddler, you would know that this woman was not dead. You know what I'm saying? Lady was chilling in a coffin and she had like powder, all this powder that they put all over her. And then the priest stood there. And then the lady all rose from the dead. And everybody's like, oh. And she had so much powder, she needed help. The funny thing is, she's so fat that when she was getting out of the coffin, the priest had to give her a hand. يعني أنت you gave life to the dead. You couldn't fulfill يعني your favor upon her and make her also skinny once and for all. ولا make her have enough strength to get out of the coffin. You gave her life, but now you need to assist her to get up. ايش هذا يا شيخ الله العظيم؟ ايش هذا؟ Plus she's not a mahram for you يا مولانا البريست. يا مولانا البريست she's not a mahram for you to be extending hands. يا الله تفضلي يا شيخة. And she got up, started dancing like habla. And they're sitting there and removing all the baby powder which belongs on babies' butts. They're removing it from her face. What is this clowning that these people are upon? Tell this priest, تعال فكنا من تمثيلياتك انت والهوليوود Bollywood lifestyle of yours. Come here, make a fly يا ابني. فكني, I don't want you to give life to the dead. Make me a fly from scratch. Bring all of these other funny actor priests with you. Let me see something special. Let me see something out of this world. They can't. Bunch of clowns and actors. So Allah Azza wa Jal challenged them. Even if you bring together your forces. وَمَعْلُومٌ أَنَّ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فِي الْقِمَّةِ عِنْدَهُمْ لأنهم اتخذوهم أربابا. It is known that those who they call besides Allah these are the elite for them because they've taken them as gods besides Allah. فإذا عجز هؤلاء القمة عن أن يخلقوا ذبابا. If the elite, then the finest of the fine, if they were unable to create a fly, وهو أخص الأشياء وأهونها, and it's the most disregarded and belittled thing. I mean, a fly, what is a fly, right? What is a fly? It's nothing extraordinary. فما فوقه من باب أولى. So anything that is bigger than a fly, obviously is more deserving of them being able to create it. يعني they will not be able to create it. بل قال وإن يسلبهم الذباب شيئا لا يستنقذوه منه. Allah Azza wa Jal even went on to say, and if the fly snatched away a thing from them, they would have no power to release it from the fly. If the fly took, the fly will go from the trash or the toilet seat straight to your plate seat. And it will have it will share all the love that it received from the bathroom onto your plate. Or vice versa. Let's say the fly came to your plate first and licked that apple that you were munching on. And it flew away. Can you retrieve it? Ya Shaykh? Anta ya priest from that country. The one who gave life to this dead woman, supposedly. Can you extract from the fly what it took away from you? What kind of hunting skills do you have? After you hunt down this fly without killing it, right? With some sort of special net that you have. You go run around the house and you catch it. Then can you tell me how you will dissect it to retrieve whatever the fly already chewed down and turned into something else in its belly? ما تقدر تسوي شيء. You can't do anything. So therefore, if this is the case, and this is the case, then we understand that y'all in trouble. You can't get anything out of the fly. فيعجزون عن مدافعة الذباب وأخذ حق منه. They can't even fight against the fly and extract their rights away from it again. فإن قيل كيف يسلب الذباب هذه الأصنام شيئا. And if someone say, how can a fly steal something from those idols in the first place? How is that even possible? فالجواب, the response, قال بعض العلماء, some of the scholars said, إن هذا على سبيل الفرض. This is all hypothetical. يعني على فرض أن يسلبهم الذباب شيئا. Assuming, hypothetically speaking, if the flies were to steal something, لا يستنقذوهم, they will not be able to retrieve it from it. They will not be able to take it back. وقال بعضهم, some of the scholars said, بل على سبيل الواقع. Rather, this is factual. فيقع الذباب على هذه الأصنام. The fly will land on these idols. ويمتص ما فيها من أطياب. And it will suck out whatever it has of good. فلا تستطيع الأصنام أن تخرج ما امتصه الذباب. And those idols will not be able to take out and extract what those flies have eaten from it. Assuming that the idol, especially for Buddha, Buddha, yeah. They always make sure that he has fruits. Since the diet watchers, when they were concerned about Buddha's overweight, they figured maybe he's eating a lot of biryani and shoving down some heavyweight rice and chicken. So they decided to fix up his diet ever since they made him into an idol. And they said, hey, why don't we put some fruits in the guy's bowl? You know, they put a bowl there and they have some bananas and apple. Obviously, Buddha is not really interested in eating now that he's an idol. And therefore, you see that his weight has not changed at all. He's maintained that gigantic belly this whole time, even though he's supposed to be on a fruit diet. But he doesn't know that more than 50 grams of sugar per day is a lot. Even if it's from natural fructose and natural sugar that is found in the fruits, your body does not need more than 50 grams of sugar per day. So assuming he's eating all that, that's why he's still fat. Could be that he's just not eating anything because he's dead, because he's an idol and it doesn't count. Last I checked, idols don't eat, and they don't have a digestive system. I don't know, but can you reason with these human beings? Can you reason with them and tell them, yeah, Hajj, yow, you, anything up here? Bagi shi hina, fi shi hina. Ijaza, vacation. Mafi, the whole brain on vacation, nothing works, hasn't come back. No return ticket. Corona, quarantine. Okay. That explains it. That explains why you haven't used your brain for the last 30 years. If you still think that an idol is going to benefit you in the dunya or the akhirah, that really much explains what's going on in the world over there. Hey, المهم وإذا كانت عاجزة عن الدفع عن نفسها واستنفاذ حقها. If those then idols are unable to defend themselves, or what is it? استنفاذ حقها, or to be able to get back its right. فهي عن الدفع عن غيرها واستنفاذ حقها عجز. So then regarding others in terms of defending them or being able to retrieve their right is going to be even more incapable. If it's incapable of defending itself, then for sure it would be more incapable of defending you, meaning the idol worshipper. Not you, my Muslim brother, the idol worshipper. والمهم, the bottom line, أن الله تعالى خالق كل شيء. Allah Azza wa Jalla is the creator of everything. وأن لا خالق إلا الله, and that there is no creator except Allah. فيجب الإيمان بعموم خلق الله عز وجل. You must believe in the generality of the creation of Allah. وأنه خالق كل شيء, and that Allah كل شيء, and Allah is the creator of everything. حتى أعمال العباد, even the actions of the slaves. لقوله تعالى الله خالق كل شيء. Allah is the creator of everything, and what you do is part of this everything, and therefore Allah created your actions. وعمل الإنسان من الشيء. The action of the person, the deed of the person is a thing. وقال تعالى وخلق كل شيء فقدره تقديرا. Allah Azza wa Jal says, and he created everything and has measured it exactly according to its due measurements. Hello. Now, والآيات في هذا كثيرة. The ayat in regards to this are plenty and abundant. There's ample ayat in this regard. طيب, where are we now? وفي آية خاصة في الموضوع, and there's an ayah that is specific to the subject. وهو في خلق أفعال العباد, pertaining to the creation of the actions of the slaves. فقال إبراهيم لقومه, Ibrahim said to his people, والله خلقكم وما تعملون. Allah has created you and what works you do. فما مصدرية وتقدير كلام خلقكم وعملكم. Linguistically, the meaning here, because it's an infinitive, the ma is infinitive, that means that the understanding of the speech is that Allah created you and your deeds. وهذا نص في أن عمل الإنسان مخلوق لله تعالى. This is a clear-cut, straightforward textual evidence that the actions and the deeds of the people are the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hey. فإن قيل, if it is said, ألا يحتمل أن تكون ما اسما موصولا ويكون معنى خلقكم وخلق الذي تعملونه. Is it possible that ma here is considered a relative pronoun, and therefore the meaning becomes Allah created you and created that which you will do, وخلق الذي تعملون, and created that which you're doing. فكيف يمكن أن نقول أن في هذه الآية دليل على خلق أفعال العباد على هذا التقدير أن ما موصولة. Either way, here the Shaykh is going down into the linguistic possibilities of what the ma could be, whether it is masdariya or whether it is a ma as an ism mawsul, whether it is an infinitive or it is a relative pronoun. Either way, how do we understand the meaning? The Shaykh is going to answer the bottom line أنه إذا كان المعمول مخلوقا لله تعالى لازم أن يكون عمل الإنسان مخلوقا. If that which is done, the outcome of the deed is the creation of Allah, this necessitates that the action of the deed is also the creation of Allah. لأن المعمول كان بعمل الإنسان, because that which has happened, the byproduct of the action only takes place because of the acting of the human. فالإنسان هو الذي باشر عمل في المعمول. You, the man, the human, you're the one who takes the initiative and engages in that act. فإذا كان المعمول مخلوقا لله تعالى, so if the creation, the end result of the deed is the creation of Allah, وهو فعل العبد, and it is the action of the slave, لازم أن يكون فعل العبد مخلوقا. This necessitates that the action of the slave is also created. فيكون في الآية دليل على خلق أفعال العباد على كلا الاحتمالين. So whether the ما is موصولة or whether the ما is مصدرية, either way, both meanings will guide us towards the belief that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah azza wa jal created the actions of the deeds. I should have muted that one. Yeah, buddy. Pardon me. وأما الدليل النظري على أن أفعال العباد مخلوقة لله. As for the reason-based intellectual evidence, sense, the one that is based on rationale, if we may use that term, that the actions of the slaves are created by Allah, فتقريرها أن نقول إن فعل العبد ناشئ عن أمرين: عزيمة صادقة وقدرة تامة. We say the action of the slave is a result of two things: sincere intent and ability, complete ability to execute. مثال ذلك, an example: أردت أن أعمل عملا من عمل. Let's say I want to do any given deed. فلا يوجد هذا العمل حتى يكون مسبوقا بأمرين هما. There's no way this deed will come into pass unless there are two things already there, and they are: أحدهما, the first, العزيمة الصادقة على فعله, that in fact I have the sincere intention to do it. لأنك لو لم تزعم ما فعلت, because if you did not have this عزيمة is determination. If you did not have this determination, you wouldn't have done it. You're just like, let it slide. You'll be passive about it. والثاني, the second, القدرة التامة, complete ability. لأنك لو لم تقدر ما فعلت, because if you don't have the ability, then you won't be able to do it. فالذي خلق فيك هذه القدرة هو الله عز وجل. Who created this ability in you? Allah. وهو الذي أودع فيك العزيمة. Who gave you that determination? Allah. وخالق السبب التام خالق المسبب. And the one who created the reason then will create the reason behind it. The one who created the reason, will also create the cause. There you go. ووجه ثاني نظري. There's another rational observation. أن نقول الفعل وصف الفاعل. We say the verb is the description, or it describes the state of the doer. The verb describes the state of the doer. So in like a subject and verb, basically, you say, for example, الولد يلعب. What is the فاعل? الولد. And what is يلعب? فعل. What is فعل doing? What is يلعب doing to the walad? Is describing what he's doing. What is he doing? He's playing. So that verb is describing the state of the doer of the verb. Capish? والوصف تابع للموصوف. And the adjective follows that which is describing the noun that it's describing. If it's an adjective, if it's describing a noun. It's an adverb if it's describing a verb. Welcome to English 101. You guys know that stuff? I don't know why I found out most people, even though they studied English their entire life, they still don't understand nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. A lot of people don't know the difference between an adjective and an adverb. Do all of you know the difference between an adjective and an adverb? Huh? Some of you are looking at me like, not anymore. I used to be good in English. Now I speak Bonganese. طيب المهم فكما أن الإنسان بذاته مخلوق لله, just like the human himself is a creation of Allah, فأفعاله مخلوقة, therefore his actions are also created. لأن الصفة تابعة الموصوف, because the adjective follows that which it's describing. So if you are created by Allah, that means everything you do will also be created by Allah, because you yourself are created by Allah, and the actions that you do follow you. They follow you. They're related to you. You're a creation. Therefore, everything related to you is also a creation. All right? فتبين بالدليل أن عمل الإنسان مخلوق لله وداخل في عموم الخلق أثريا ونظريا. والدليل فتبين بالدليل أن عمل الإنسان مخلوق له. So now we have the based on evidence that the action of the human is created by Allah. وداخل في عموم الخلق أثريا ونظريا, and that it is part of the generality of the creation of Allah, both from an athari point of view, i.e. traceable textual evidence, ونظريا, and also rational intellectual observations of the senses. والدليل الأثري قسمان عام وخاص والدليل النظري له وجهان. The dalil athari, now the evidence, the traceable evidence is of two types, general, specific. And the rational one has two facets. وقوله لا خالق غيره, there's no creator but him. There's no creator but him. إن قلت هذا الحصر يرد على أن هناك خالقا غير الله. If you say that this exclusivity suggests that there's a creator besides Allah, فالمصور يعد نفسه خالقا. The image maker, the artist who draws, he considers himself to be a creator. بل جاء في الحديث أنه خالق. Rather, the hadith actually mentions that he's a creator. فإن المصورين يعذبون. The image makers will be tortured. يقال لهم أحيوا ما خلقتم. It will be said to them, give life to that which you created. Give life to that which you created. وقال عز وجل, Allah says, فَتَبَارَكَ اللَّهُ أَحْسَنُ الْخَالِقِينَ. So blessed is Allah, the best of creators. فَهُنَاكَ خالق. So there is a creator. لكن الله تعالى هو أحسن الخالقين, but Allah is the best of creators. فما الجواب عن قول المؤلف? How do we answer this? How do we respond to the statement of the author? فالجواب, the answer, أن الخلق الذي ننسبه إلى الله عز وجل هو الإيجاد وتبديل الأعيان من عين لأخرى. The creation that we ascribe to Allah is the ijad. Ijad is to establish something for the first time, is to originate, is the act of originating, making it there for the first time, and also for transforming things from one state to another. فلا أحد يوجد إلا الله عز وجل. In this sense, no one originates except Allah عز وجل. ولا أحد يبدل عينا إلى عين إلا الله عز وجل. And nothing can transform something completely from one state to another except Allah عز وجل. وما قيل إنه خلق, and as for what is said that it's a creation بالنسبة للمخلوق, in reference to the created أو to the creation, فهو عبارة عن تحويل شيء من صفة إلى صفة. That is merely it's changing. It is changing something from one state to another. Not complete transformation. It is merely this change of a state from one state to another. فالخشبة مثلا بدلا من أن كانت في الشجرة. So the wood, now you've transformed it, basically not transformed, you've changed it into a wood after it was a tree. تحولت بالنجارة إلى باب. So the tree became a piece of wood, and the piece of wood became a door. فتحويلها إلى باب يسمى خلقا. Now exchanging it or transforming it into a door is considered creating. You created a door. لكنه ليس الخلق الذي يختص به الخالق, but it's not the type of creation that is specific to the creator. وهو الإيجاد من العدم, and that is to bring something into existence from non-existence. أو تبديل العين من عين إلى أخرى, or to exchange and substitute something from one in its entirety, changing something in its entirety from one state to another, okay? As opposed to transforming or exchanging the state of something in a minor way. So there's a complete transformation of a ayn, meaning an entity, into another type of entity, and then there's the one where you modify. There you go. You modify or you manipulate the existing creation into something else, like the tree becoming a wood, becoming a door, and so on and so forth. وقوله لا رب سواه, there's no Lord besides him or aside from him. أي أن الله وحده هو الرب المدبر لجميع الأمور. Allah Azza wa Jal is the only, single-handedly, the only Lord who arranges the entire affairs. وهذا حصر حقيقي. This is a true exclusivity. ولكن ربما يرد عليه أنه جاء في الأحاديث إثبات الربوبية لغير الله. But we might have another problem, is that someone may say in some of the narrations there's the establishment of lordship to other than Allah. How do we deal with that? ففي لقطة الإبل لقطة الإبل قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم دعها معها سقاؤها وحذاؤها ترد الماء وتأكل الشجر حتى يجدها ربها وربها صاحبها. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said regarding the camel, he said, leave it. It has its own water reservoir. It has its own footwear, and it will go and drink water from whatever it does, and it will eat from the trees until its Rabb finds it. And here Rabb means owner. الصاحب الشيء يعني the companion of the thing or the owner of the thing. وجاء في بعض ألفاظ حديث جبريل. In some of the wordings of حديث جبريل يقول إذا ولدت الأم إذا ولدت الأمة ربها. And when the female slave gives birth to her Rabb, which again the term here, what you're familiar with from a linguistic point of view is Rabb means the ultimate Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But in reality, the term Rabb has many meanings, as we will see right now. You say Rabbul Bayt, the owner of the house, Rabbul Manzil, Rabbul ila akhir, Rabbul Amal, the person in charge of the work, the owner of the business, the boss at work. All of these terms are used in the Arabic language. The term Rabb is used to refer to other than Allah. So what will define what is intended? The context, obviously. But let's see what the Shaykh says. فما هو الجمع بين هذا وبين قوم ألف رب سوى. How do we then bring a relation between those narrations and the statement of the author? There's no Rabb except Allah. نقول, we will say, إن ربوبية الله عامة كاملة. The lordship of Allah is general and comprehensive. كل شيء, everything, فالله ربه. Allah Azza wa Jalla is his Lord. لا يسأل عما يفعل في خلقه. Allah is not asked about what he does to his creation. لأن فعله كله رحمة وحكمة. All of the actions of Allah are nothing but mercy and wisdom. ولهذا يقدر الله عز وجل الجدب والمرض والموت والجروح في الإنسان وفي الحيوان. That's what Allah عز وجل, he decrees drought, illnesses, death, wound, and illnesses and any injuries in the human and the animals. ونقول هذا غاية الكمال والحكمة. And we say this is the epitome of perfection and wisdom. أما ربوبية المخلوق للمخلوق. As for the lordship of the creation to the creation, فربوبية ناقصة قاصرة. It is a deficient, incomplete type of lordship. لا تتجاوز محلها. It cannot exceed its place. ولا يتصرف فيها الإنسان تصرفا تاما. Nor does the person have that ultimate capability and rights regarding it. بل تصرفه مقيد. Rather, his actions are restricted. إما بالشرع وإما بالعرف. Either because of legislation or because of the customs of the people around him. So, even though we say he is the Rabbul Bayt, you don't understand that this is the Rububiyyah in the ultimate sense. This is a linguistic usage of the word. It appears in Surah Yusuf. It appears in many locations in the Quran, many incidents in the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And again, just like any other term, because you could call, for example, the person Rahim, Alim, Hakim, and those are also the names and attributes of Allah. So the context will determine what is intended by this word. Is it the one that is being used exclusively for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the ultimate perfect sense, or is it a version, a minor downgraded version of it that is suitable to the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? قوله ومع ذلك فقد أمر العباد بطاعته وطاعة رسله ونهاهم عن معصيته. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with that has commanded the slaves to obey him and obey his messengers, and he forbade them from disobeying him. يعني ومع عموم خلقه وربوبيته, with the generality of Allah's creation and rububiyyah, lordship, لم يترك العبادة هملا. He did not neglect the creation and leave them unattended. ولم يرفع عنهم الاختيار, and Allah did not remove that choice from them. بل أمرهم بطاعته وطاعة رسله. Rather, Allah commanded them to obey him and obey his messengers. ونهاهم عن معصيته, and Allah forbade them from disobeying him. وأمره بذلك أمر ممكن. That command of Allah is something that is doable. فالمأمور مخلوق الله عز وجل. The creation, the one who's being commanded, is nothing but the creation of Allah. وفعله مخلوق لله, and his actions are also the creation of Allah. ومع ذلك يؤمر وينهى. In spite of that, he's being told what to do and told what not to do. He's being commanded and he's being prohibited. A. ولو كان الإنسان مجبرا على عمله. If the person was forced to do the deeds, لكان أمره أمرا بغير ممكن. لكان أمره أمرا بغير ممكن. Allah would have commanded him then of that which is not possible. والله عز وجل يقول, Allah says, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah does not burden a soul beyond its scope. ويقول تعالى لا نكلف نفسا إلا وسعها. We do not burden a soul beyond its scope. وهذا يدل على أنهم قادرون على فعل الطاعة. This is an evidence that they're able to do the act of worship, to do the obedience. وعلى تجنب المعصية. They're able to abandon the sin. وأنهم غير مكرهين على ذلك. And they're not forced they're not being forced to do that. Remember, guys, when that brother asked a question and I was a little rough in the answer, and that's based on these understandings that some might not be aware of. You see, this is where the shaitan gets involved. I already know, and you already know. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah does not burden the soul beyond its scope. Did Allah command us to obey Him? Yes. Did He command us not to disobey Him? Yes. Therefore, you're able. When someone says, I'm unable to obey Allah or I'm unable to leave a sin, this is just a choice that we're making. It's a poor choice. We all make it. I make it every single day. It's a poor choice we're making of disobeying Allah. We're making that choice of disobeying Allah and not obeying Him. But there's no way that you cannot do it. Otherwise, it will render all of these sects invalid. Because Allah does not burden you beyond your ability. And He doesn't burden you beyond your ability, yet He told you to do things and not do things. Meaning you're able to do it. You're able to obey. You're able not to disobey. So when we don't obey and we disobey, it's a choice. Don't blame it on the shaitan and say, I cannot this and I cannot that and I'm unable. Nah, you're just being played with right now. And that's why you need sometimes to be put in your place and somebody to wake you up, splash some water in your face so you can say, hey, okay, yeah. You know what? I can do this. Giving him a pat on the back is only going to help the shaitan continue to mislead that person. So, slow down sometimes, Some of you really go overboard and misjudging and misassessing. الله يهديكم يصلحكم يصلحنا جميعا يا رب العالمين. أين أنا ها هنا. طيب. Inshallah we will stop. Because this is a new subject that we will discuss بإذن الله عز وجل. And we want to finish on time today. We have other commitments for the one way to tarbiyah people. If you're one of them, then we have the one way to tarbiyah class. It's a special class for kids where they have more fun than the speaker. Okay, so where are the questions, ladies and gentlemen? Let me bring this over here. Minimize. Bring over here. Big screen, mashallah. I didn't get to drink my coffee. Wait, stop sharing. Where are the questions, ya Jama'ah? Here we go. If one who's praying finds that some food particles are at his throat, is he allowed to swallow it? No. Don't swallow it. Keep it under your tongue. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What is the proper way of reading Quran on someone? Do you just recite verses and blow on the person, or is it another way of doing it? Yeah, you can do that. You could, if it's a mahram, or if it's another male, you just put your hand on that person, you recite the Quran. No. I have read that oral is permissible with your partner, but it isn't the only thing made explicit. But isn't the only thing made explicit with your wife impermissible the other thing? What? Look, I'm of the opinion that everything is halal unless there's an evidence to the contrary. And what Islam forbade regarding the relationship between men and women is very clear. And I can't say this right now because I don't know. They're a different audience, but it's in the Quran. The things which are prohibited are in the Quran. Everything other than that is halal. Knock yourself out. Now, so why can we call an owner of a kennel as Rabb, but not name a baby Rabb? Because there's a difference between an adjective and a proper noun. I just finished telling you that after the long lesson on Salafis and Atharis and what have you. You could say Rabbul Bayt, he's the Lord of the house, meaning he's the person in charge of the house, but that's not going to be his passport. You're not going to open a spouse, going to say first name Rabbul Bayt, second name والحديقة and the garden outside. ايش بك انت؟ ايش دخل بوبو بدودو؟ ايش دخل بوبو بدودو؟ What does Bubu have to do with Dudu? Nah. We call him as an adjective the Lord of the. This is the language of the Arabs. It's the language of the Arabs. Even in English, Lord Georgina. Oh, wait. Lord George. They call him Lord. They don't mean that he's the creator of the heavens and the earth. They sell perfume named Lord. So the term Lord can be used. It's a linguistic matter. Doesn't become your name on your ID, Maulana Sheikh. اذكر ربك الله يهديك. Next. Hello. Teacher made me read Shakespeare's poem out loud in class in school. It contained shrik and Lord title of king. Am I sinful? I didn't know until I read it. You can take fatwa from Shaykh al-Hakim. Okay, wow, that's a lot. Well, first and foremost, if the term Lord is being, I just finished saying this, subhanAllah, if the term Lord is being used in a Shakespearean poem, or Sheikh Zubair's poem, as they say, if it's being used as the term Lord, meaning some king, that's fine. That's not shirk, Habibi. That is not shirk. And you could take fatwa from Shaykh al-Hakim in general. Now, there might be some exceptions that we disagree, but that's part of it. Some of the affiliations of the Shaykh are the ones that I would be most concerned about. We love Shaykh al-Hakim. Very straightforward brother. Very humorous. Has the funniest replies you could come across in the English language. But I take major reservations with some of his acquaintances and some of the people he associates with. I hope and pray that he will, fix them. I hope that the reason behind his connection with them is to rectify their state. Maybe we'll give them that good assumption. Now, Abu Biryani al-Pepsi, MashaAllah, عاشت الأسامي يا شيخ. Can we listen to Shaykh al-Turayfi? And if yes, we should. Where should we be cautious? Don't listen to him. No, you should not listen to him. Don't listen to him because he has those tendencies, and there's plenty of alternatives. The Khariji tendencies are there. That's what I know, and that's the safest position. Now, go to majority Kafir school classmate interested in Islam, about Allah and the prayers. Is it obligation to give da'wah and teach him and be near even if he cusses and says inappropriate things? Yeah, that's fine. Be patient with him until you give him da'wah. So what? Do you know the book, The Ideal Muslimah? What's your opinion on it? I don't. I've heard of the book. Who's the author? Ustad, when I'm in Jama'at prayer and I missed one rak'ah, when the Imam finishes the prayer and I get up from Julus position to finish the one remaining rak'ah, do I say Allahu Akbar? Yes, of course you do. An adverb is a word. Is wearing cap sunnah? Is wearing cap is sunnah. So we should have English lessons. And I'm convinced that we should have a session in the English language just so we can stop, messing with my OCD. Is wearing cap sunnah? Sheikh Imam Albani and other scholars' position about it. The scholars have differed about the matter of wearing a cap, whether it is a sunnah or not. And I know I follow the opinion of Sheikh bin Baz, rahimahullah ta'ala, Sheikh Abdullah bin Baz, that it is not necessarily a sunnah. It is a matter that is optional. If you wear it with the intention that you want to emulate the Prophet ﷺ, Jazakallah khairan, you will be rewarded for that. If you don't, because like me, you follow the position that it's a cultural matter, then you're good to go. Now, Abdulaziz bin Baz, not Abdullah bin Baz. Did I say Abdullah bin Baz? Sheikh Abdulaziz bin Baz. I was muwahid huwaqat. I changed my name. Now I can sleep at night, inshallah. I was mulhid, not even muwahid. طيب, jazakallah khair. It's a major change. Now I can really sleep at night. Student ICK Muhammad Zishan Uddin 11X. Uqsum billah al-azim. What is this? The name of a course, ya Sheikh, in a university? Who was Fakhruddin al-Razi. Is it appropriate to take knowledge from his works? Absolutely not. Al-Razi was a deviant scholar who was upon a Aqeedah that contradicts the Aqeedah of Ahl-us-Sunnah wal-Jamaa'ah. Fakhr al-Razi had a lot of these scholars of the past, they had a lot of valuable information that they shared with the Ummah, but it was always mixed with a lot of deviance and falsehood, and therefore it just has to be dismissed if you're not a student of knowledge. Now, you do not take knowledge from Fakhr al-Razi, Fakhruddin al-Razi. Now, is wearing a ta'weez an innovation, and should I say the niyyah before I do wudu? Also, what do I say after I finish my wudu? Wearing a ta'weez is a form of shirk. It's a minor shirk, and it could lead to major shirk if you truly believe that ta'weez independently protects you. If you believe that Allah will protect you because of it, that's minor shirk, and it's haram, and it's an innovation to wear this ta'weez. Hello? You don't say any niyyah before you make wudu. You say Bismillah and you make wudu. And after you finish the wudu, there's a dua that you should find in the book, The Muslim Fortress. The Muslim Fortress. Naam, say ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu Muhammad abdu rasuluh. And then the end of the dua. So, whenever you want to remember the dua of these things, that this doesn't cross mind, especially when people show me books in the background. But I don't even remember the dua right now of finishing the wudu. اللهم اجعلني من التوابين اجعلني من الطاهرين. اي نعم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. طيب ماشي. Find it in the book, The Fortress of a Muslim, يا شيخ. الله يهديك. You find it anywhere online. نعم. What is the correct position of removing the question while reading it? What is the correct position of paying by zakah on gold? Is it obligatory, and how to pay it? Of course. What do you mean is it obligatory? Of course you have to pay zakah on gold. How do you pay it? You calculate the value and you pay that in cash. You can pay it in cash. Yeah, go on Islam QA, type zakah on gold. Zakah on gold. Read. Do. Barween. Ustad. Hayyak Allah. It's Hayyak Allah, ya Sheikh. There's an alif missing, Barakallah Feek. Recently, someone said that the book Mufid al-Mustafid of Shaykh Muhammad Abdul Wahab contains a lot of takfiri statements. Is this true? Who is this someone? Who is this someone? Yani you want to listen to Brother Haji, مثلا? Bro Haji, the bootlicker, finder, identifier, exposer, huh? The one with the nasheed and anasheed, all these harakat and footage of him, talking to people. Hey, this guy can't even read a sentence. Really? If someone like him says anything about Muhammad ibn Wahab, just tell him, Ya Rajal, روح Allah يصلحك ويهديك. روح بيتك, روح. Who's the one saying this, man? خلي ولي, brother. Takfiri all. أي takfir وأي بطيخ. Shaykh Muhammad Wahab was an icon in this ummah, a reviver of this deen. Someone Allah blessed the ummah with. Hush. He's not infallible, but hush. Stop eating his flesh. Those feeble-minded retards. They are going to pay a heavy price on Yawm al-Qiyamah for eating the flesh of the scholars and for distorting the message and the legacy of these scholars. They think that they're going to have a picnic on Yawm al-Qiyamah. They have no idea what they're getting themselves into. Those Najdi attackers, those who have this campaign against the Najdi da'wah, calling it all types of names, lying, slandering, and making some foul accusations, they have no idea what's awaiting them on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Those idiots and the clothes of scholars, people like Yasir Qadi and his likes, and those fools who don't amount to the dirt under the nail of the small toe of these scholars. They're not even equal to the dirt under the nail of the scholars. Running their mouth talking about the Shaykh is this, who did that, he did this, who he did takfir, who he did the khuruj, who he did. يخرب بيتك على بيته يا كذاب يا ابن الكذابة يا مفتري يا ظالم يا متعدي. جاي دورك يوم القيامة يا تعبان أبو مخ ملسوع أنت وياه. Zip it already. Go to sleep and stay like the people of the cave until it's said and done. Better than you running your mouth about those scholars. يا مجنون. Or someone said. استخل أهلي be someone said أنا. طيب. Next. Is ta'til of Allah's names and attributes shirk and kufr? It depends. Generally, no. Generally, no, because there might be a misunderstanding. And I mean, this is what we're discussing in the book. Ya akhi, go back to the beginning of the book, Ya Suhail. Suhail, Habibi, we discussed all this in the beginning of the book. Allah bless you. Spend some time and go through the classes one by one. We will see what everything has been said about, what has been said about every one of these subjects. We have already discussed this in detail. Ta'til, which is to deny the attribute of Allah Azza wa Jal, may not constitute shirk, and may, depending on how, what kind of ta'til and done by who and with what evidence and what have you. Now, cold coffee. What do you think about the da'wah scene in the UK overall? Yeah, Sheikh, the UK is the UK da'wah scene is problematic and bizarre. That's what I'm going to say. It's problematic and bizarre. You know, you have these camps, man. You have some of the finest students of knowledge you could find. I can't find two better students of knowledge, in my opinion, in the English language than Abdurrahman Hassan and Muhammad Tim Humble. I can't. And I know both of them personally. I've spent plenty of time with them, personal time. People of character, people of manners, people of humbleness, people of knowledge. SubhanAllah, they have all the traits that you would want to see and find in students of knowledge. And the demeanor, the behavior, I feel like a clown in their presence. Wallah, like I feel like a complete joker. Like I'm out of the loop, and I don't belong with those fine quality people. So you have those on one side, and then you have on the other side the other individuals that have hijacked the da'wah scene. You know, the Muhammad Hijab and the Ali Da'wah, and Brother Haji. And let me put Da'wah man along with the first camp. If I have to put them in a camp, put them in the first camp. Then you have those other people on the other side. Then you have the corner, Hyde Park, and that group of people. Then you have Shamsi. It's such a weird combination of characters that don't mix in one pot. You cannot mix them together and come out with something fruitful. And certainly you as a average follower, you should be very careful and selective, and you should take your knowledge only from people that propagate the proper Islam. And I will say it with a full mouth, with confidence, while being very wary of the repercussions. You do not take knowledge from Bro Haji. You do not take knowledge from what's his name, Muhammad Hijab. You do not take knowledge from Da'wah, Ali Da'wah. Not in a million years. You do not take knowledge from these characters that might have some good to offer, but the amount of craziness that is constantly revolving around this potential microscopic good is devastating. Devastating, absolutely devastating. No doubt Muhammad Hijab in some occasions was a beast. He was an absolute lion in his defense of Islam, or debating with some of these, atheists or Christians or whatever. No doubt. Okay, but that's still not relevant for the average Muslim. It's not even suitable for the average Muslim. Combine that with all of the violations against Shaykh Albani, against the Mashayikh, against some statements that were made, a lot of apologies after statements that were made that were of vile nature. With all the drama that surrounds it, and all the stuff that happened recently with the Sajid Lifam and all that stuff. Yani, honestly, wallah, I don't understand. So, some of you get that itch to want to, present or expose yourself to this kind of information. You shouldn't. Learn from someone like Sheikh Abdurrahman Hassan, proper religion, educate yourself, and move towards your Lord in peace. don't involve yourself in this drama in the UK scene, because a lot of them, this is their livelihood. They make money, they remain afloat from this drama. As long as we feed into this drama, as long as there are views coming in, there are ads running, money's being made, sponsorship, people donating, whatever, as long as that's running, then they're going to continue going in that path. They might be sincere to Allah, but at the same time, we judge by what's apparent. Once there's all this monetary aspects involved, then you have a big flag. A big flag. Had the content been sound, say, make all the money you want, halal alayk ya Shaykh. But if it's dubious information, truth mixed with falsehood, then you got to be very careful. Now, with this, inshallah, we conclude. Jazakumullah khairan. It's a very loaded question there at the end. Ya adhkur rabbak. But I promised my family to finish at 11:30 sharp, and so there's 11:30 sharp. 11:30 sharp for you. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum.